that together too.
Yeah. And we're already laughing. So hopefully you've had a good 2 weeks. We don't normally watch any podcasts that we're on. Never rewatch them.
No.
We just do them. We're on them. We have our own podcast, but we actually watched ourselves individually.
We did.
And I kind of had a little tear because I was crying. And I don't know if you think that we're as funny as we think we are, but I mean, when I was trying to spell Kiggins in
K as
theater,
in cat.
K
It's
as
good
in
stuff.
cat.
That's stuff
Oh.
you can't rehearse.
Yes, and I just clicked.
Okay, so some feedback, because we're all about the feedback.
Yeah.
We did learn that obviously I have a lot of nervous energy and I fidget a lot and my foot is always moving. I was wobbling the table and making things shake, and so I'm really going to be conscientious about that, as hard as it's going to be.
I'll just call you out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. And
like
then
I did. And then one of my very good friends watched it, and she said, "You say for sure a lot and 100%, and you click like I just did."
which I never noticed, and now I do, that it's been
And-
brought to my attention. So
Now it's annoying.
we would love to get continued feedback, because it's funny as all's getting, and it's the only way we're going to improve as we move on.
We don't need.
Oh, we don't need to improve?
Well, I mean,
Perfection,
yeah, but-
perfection doesn't
yeah.
exist.
No,
We're
it
close.
doesn't. I
We're
mean,
close.
it's just us. You know.
So welcome, episode 2. Here we are.
Yay.
Happy Hump Day. It's Wednesday, and
Hump
today's
day. Oh.
topic is
Expectations. And they'll kill you every time if you have too many of them.
Managing expectations. We were talking about this because it's something that every time we bring it up with our friends,
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, I got caught in that cycle again. Or, yep, I had resentment because of this, that, and the other. It was my own thing. I own it. I set an expectation way so unrealistically that no one could have gotten there.
Yeah.
So we're going to dig into that today, because it's something we're all guilty of, and it's something that has definitely impacted relationships that I've had.
Absolutely. I think everyone has done this to a point, for
Mhm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the healthy people that have done work on it are like, I take full responsibility. And others, were like, why didn't he know what I was thinking?
So you bring up a really good point, and we're just going
Thank you.
to, off the cuff, you're welcome, off the cuff, talk about this, because when people don't own it, that really reminds me of like that victim mentality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we've talked so much about that, of like, oh, woe is me that they didn't deliver in the way I needed them to deliver.
Self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
I mean, right, it's my 30th birthday, and I thought I was going to have a surprise party, and he was going to shower me with 3 dozen roses, and oh, that's cool, we went to dinner. Cool. And then
Yeah.
you're mad at the other person, you fall
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah, you're not in the moment because you're steaming
Right.
just below the surface.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
sad.
And how many nights have been ruined that way?
Well, you tell me.
A couple. I look back at photos and I go, yeah, I was pissed that night. I can just see it in my face.
Because of expectations
Yeah.
that didn't come true.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we create stories in our heads so quickly.
The Brene Brown, the narrative we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
The story we tell ourselves.
And we do that all the
Yeah.
time with so many different aspects.
Yep.
And with expectations, that could be the same one, because we're like, well, he should have, she should have, they know me, they should have known.
Yeah.
All those little key words
Yep.
are a cue that you might be having high expectations on other people.
Yeah, and they're invisible. Like, that's the thing. Nobody can see them. Nobody can hear them.
Yeah.
You're not writing them down for anyone.
Yeah.
So you're not being clear at all with what you want from
Right.
any circumstance or person.
And I
so
wonder-
how would anyone know?
Right. And I wonder if we're not clear on what we want, because maybe inside we don't think we really deserve it, but if someone knows it already, our needs, that maybe that justifies
it's a
us-
validation then.
It validates the need that we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was
That's
kind of
deep.
going deep. Couple layers.
I kind of like
Yeah.
that, though. I think
Yeah.
there's something to that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because some of it comes from perfectionism,
Totally.
having to have the world a certain way.
And so you mean when, like, if I have to have the world a certain way, then
You expect me
exactly
to show up the way you would.
exactly,
And you will be let down every time.
like mommy dearest. Like, I'm sure
Freaking
some
hangers.
people, yeah, I'm
right?
sure people are listening that have had a mom maybe or a dad that was just like
Mm-hmm.
militaristic, you know,
Mhm.
in that way, and everything had to be or dad might explode or mom might explode or
Yeah.
did I just hit an
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about those kinds of things, like people with anger issues. A lot of it comes from that they can't control their environment to make it what they want it to be.
Right.
And so everybody's letting them down
Everyone.
because it never is enough for them in
Mm-hmm.
how they have created this picture, this perfect place to be for them.
Yeah.
But they're not doing the work either.
No.
That's the thing, right?
Well, and it comes from a place of them having that control and that perfectionism that makes, I'll just say, that makes me feel that life is okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's my calm, right?
Mhm,
If
mhm.
I am, everything's in control,
Mm-hmm.
then the world is okay. And when things are not in control, it feels out of control, and then we can start to spin off of that.
And then how do you feel when it's all done?
Oh, it's usually a big, like, eruption, and you know, there's repair. You have to repair, and yeah, it's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I'm sure we have some stories. I know I'm thinking of some.
I just know that
Stories.
it's exhausting. It's exhausting to put so many expectations out to the world. And I know that I've done
Yeah.
it even in my professional life at work, where I just assume and expect everyone to be on the same page that I'm on.
Yep.
And when I'm working through something really quickly
Yeah.
and they're not there yet, I get really annoyed. And that is part of this expectation management of, whoa, slow down, take a pause, listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You've been on this project too much longer than they have, and you're getting annoyed because they're not jumping on as quickly as you are.
Right. And so I don't know if this is true for you, but in hearing that example,
Yeah.
for me at work, when I'm starting to have high expectations on other people and not having the faith that everyone's got it,
Mm-hmm.
it's because I am triggered. I'm overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm triggered, or I'm fearful about something
Mm-hmm.
with work. And that's where it comes from for me. That can just come out.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm
Yeah, and
the
then it's
best
almost like
boss
we
ever.
shut. Oh, of course you are. Of course you are. Anyone will say that. But then we shut down our ability to communicate clearly, because then our cortisol is up, and we're stressed,
We're not
and we're overwhelmed,
communicating.
and we're not communicating.
And our vibration level is low.
Yeah,
Our energy
yeah.
intensity is
Yeah.
way high.
And the expectations are up here, and everyone's
Yeah.
wondering what the hell's wrong with us.
So no one can truly hear you because your
No,
energy
right.
and your intensity
You've shut down completely.
is way too
Yep,
high.
yep.
And so they've shut down too.
Yep. Tell me a little bit about how this fits into a people-pleasing or peacekeeping mentality, right? Because
Yeah.
if you can share a little bit, like your upbringing was to keep the peace.
Yep.
Not necessarily people-pleasing, but
Yeah.
keep the peace, maintain the status quo of how things feel right.
That my brother felt okay, that my sister was protected, that my dad was okay, that I
Right.
needed to protect him and bring his energy down a little bit, so it wasn't
So how
exploding.
did that transfer to lack of being able to manage your own expectations to others, do you think? Do you think that you just expected the rest of the world to do for you what you were doing for it?
Because of that situation? That's a good question. I think, like I said before, I think that experience in my childhood definitely made me feel like things needed to be in control to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I had high expectations because, okay, hold on, I'm getting there.
This is
It's coming out. I had high expectations because I did so much for everyone in that family. Thank you
Yes.
for helping me get
Yes.
there.
Yes.
I did so much, or I thought I did.
I'm sure you did.
Protect my brother,
Sure.
protect my sister, my dad's emotion, his well-being, like
Mhm.
be the good kid,
Mhm.
clean up the house when my mom was out for the evening, the whole kitchen, so she came home and it was spotless. Like there's people pleasing for you, right?
Right.
So I gave a lot.
Mhm.
And so then in return, I think I did have some very high expectations.
And then when you didn't get it back in return,
I felt maybe worthless a little bit, like not
so that's an interesting
seen.
emotion because most people will say I felt resentment or bitter. And I think some
Probably
of
those two.
yeah, but I think some emotion that we forget is a direct result of this is feeling unheard or unseen or not
Yeah.
valued or unrecognized.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah.
we carry with us.
Yeah. That when it came to me, sometimes the easier child doesn't get all that full attention, right?
Yep.
The one that needs more, whether it's physically, mentally, gets that energy.
Mhm.
And you don't want to ask for too much because there's a lot
You don't
going
wanna rock
on.
the boat.
There's a lot going on in the family.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then you're left with, this is the bits and pieces I am left with, which
Yeah.
actually is a phrase that I say.
These are the bits and pieces I'm left with.
Or I'm left with the scraps. And you've heard me say that.
I have heard you say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm left with the scraps. So what does that mean to you?
Scraps.
What does I'm left with the scraps mean? Because that's actually a pretty bold statement. Right?
So
because
for
am I a
me-
scrap?
You?
Yeah, I mean you're left with the scraps. Like what does that mean?
No, that means that they put energy, that person in my life put energy towards everything else.
There you go. That's it.
And I was the last to be thought of because I'm doing fine.
Yes.
Or I'm doing great in school. Or I'm outgoing. So I seem like I'm okay.
Yes.
But I'm getting very little because people perceive that I'm okay with very little. And I probably put that out.
And you expected them to treat you with the same respect, value, attention, energy that you gave to them.
100%.
And that didn't.
100%.
100%.
Oh, shit! That was a double whammy!
Oh. One of the things, and I mentioned this pre-podcast, is one of my favorite books of all time is Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he's got companion books in the Fifth Agreement and whatnot. Many of you probably already
Small
know
book.
of it.
Do you know Jupiter Hotel in Portland, Oregon?
Yeah.
Has that book in the nightstand.
Oh, that's so cool.
I don't think the Bible's there, but the Four Agreements.
I love that. I'm going to stay there.
It's
Let's do an overnight at the Juniper.
Retro. Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that. And I was thinking about this topic today, managing expectations, and it's taken me a long time to get there. But that book is a stark reminder of don't make assumptions and don't take things personally.
Don't take things personally.
But it's so hard.
It's
so flippin' hard.
It's so hard. If we just did don't take things personally,
right?
We would have so much more emotional energy.
My gosh.
Left in the day.
I don't even know what I would do with all of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to take naps probably.
So we could even use our tattoo as an example.
Right, the let them.
Well, that actually what happened when we got our tattoos. Do you remember?
Don't take things personally.
So we're very spontaneous, and we spontaneously said, let's get a tattoo. And she's like, let's do it today. And we couldn't get in that day.
Mm-hmm.
So we got in the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in.
That's right.
And she said, and we're getting the let them tattoo.
Yep.
Not the same tattoo, not in the same place. And she said, I was thinking, let's not tell anybody that we did this together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I go, that's exactly why we're getting the tattoo.
It's so
we're trying to be codependent and make sure everyone feels okay about this.
Out.
You didn't want to leave anybody out.
I didn't.
And I even got a message of feeling like I left somebody out.
Yes, you did.
Which kind of was like, da, da, da.
Yeah.
You know?
Because we knew it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel good when you know somebody doesn't feel good because of something you've done. But at the same time, you can't live your life for others' emotions all the time. I mean, yes, it's
No.
important to
Yeah.
consider
Yeah.
their feelings, but the tattoo is a great example because I really went there. Like
Literally.
immediately, I was like, let's just keep this quiet. And she's like, no, that's let them be uncomfortable
Yeah.
with their feelings.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I mean, but it was hard.
It's just a tattoo.
I mean, I got it, but it was hard because I was feeling the same way.
I know. It's
And-
so tough.
You know, we met through
God.
our dear friend Shauna, and we've been working together on this
Mhm.
project a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are going to go spend the day together on Saturday, you know? And it's like, okay. And to not take things personally.
Yes.
Either way.
Yes,
you know,
and don't
it's-
make assumptions.
and
Don't
make
don't
assumptions.
assume that you know where a person's at
Yeah.
in your journey with them.
Yeah.
Like it's just so hard because we tend to think, because we do take things personally, that it's
Yeah.
because they don't care. Oh well, they
Oh.
don't care enough. They don't
Yeah.
care enough to
Right.
have the same reaction I would have had. They just don't care. It has nothing to do with that.
No.
Like
No.
maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't. Maybe some people they don't care. But for the most part, it's not about them not caring. It's
Right.
about them just not being you.
Right.
They're a different person with different baggage and different experiences and different thought processes and
Right.
different crap going on in their head.
Exactly. Or texting. Like, that's a great
Oh.
example because you can text something to somebody.
Yes.
And even in dating, you know, I've noticed this. Like, I'll text something and I have my own humor going on in my head, but it doesn't really
And like,
read
well,
the same.
well, until you use poop.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you guys have.
Natalie has a poop faux pas when it comes to texting, especially in new relationships.
Oh my god.
So it's a whole thing we have to work on. It's
Yeah.
it's the typo
Mhm.
texting correction. It's
Yeah.
not her actually bringing it up, but yes.
Yeah, we're gonna display the string of texts that I have done this several times. I've done it to you.
Yep.
I've done it to Doug.
Uh-huh.
I have done it to some rando that we never actually went on a date
Uh-huh.
because he was probably like, okay, I'm good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a I digress. Oh, you really do click.
I should
Wow.
donate to the Alzheimer's
Oh,
Association
that's
every
a
time
great
I click.
idea. That's a great
But
idea.
we got to come up with something. to
Okay,
do
well that's
that you
4
do.
already.
Well, we need.
Because is that 2 or is that 1?
No, that's.
I
it's a
haven't bumped the
combo.
table yet.
I know, but I gave you like a
You did.
surefire way not to.
I mean, it's working. So far. So okay,
Okay,
we digress.
we do this.
Yeah, it's okay.
So let's talk about some stories
Yeah.
of expectations that maybe you held
Yeah.
either in childhood or in any time in your life where you're like, ah,
You know, I think I'll kind of piggyback off of our episode 1
okay,
because it's only 2 years fresh my divorce, and one of the things I always saw so much potential in my husband's, plural.
oh, that's
so
all
much,
I
and
do.
that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards them is
Yeah.
I can be the one to fix them and motivate them to be a better person.
Oh, 100%.
And number 1, that's not my business.
Nope.
Number 2, I set expectations way too unrealistically.
Well, because you can't do it.
I couldn't.
You can't.
And it just about was the death of me.
Yeah.
Because their expectations would never be the same as mine. And I didn't see that then.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought if I
Mhm.
keep putting energy into this, if I
Mhm.
keep putting my best foot forward, if I keep modeling the
Mhm.
expected behavior, they're bound to get it.
Well, that is like a strategy
Of course.
to where you work on yourself, you do your stuff, and hopefully they come along for the
Hopefully,
ride.
but that's the thing.
Right.
When you expect them to,
Right.
it is a complete and utter letdown when they don't.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I did all this work.
Right.
You didn't come through for me.
Right.
And that's
And doing it for
just
you
a joke.
instead of
Yeah.
them.
Exactly. And for me, it was
Yeah.
never, it was somewhat about me of I would feel accomplished and good about myself if I turned them into a better human being,
Oh yeah.
right? So it was a little selfish,
Yeah.
if I'm to be honest. Um, but it was really just that whole weird thing of like, I was so resentful that they didn't reach my goals for them. How dare you not cross the finish line like I set you out to
Totally.
do?
Aren't the 50s great?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if you are under 50, just wait, because you are going to get this enlightenment
It's true.
where you see that so clearly.
It's so true. I wonder if it is like a 50s thing.
Oh, it's a
I
mid
chopped mine
40s,
up-
50s.
Chalked mine up for like from the divorce, but I have a feeling it has something to do with age too. Because my first divorce,
Experience, age.
I
but
definitely didn't.
yeah, therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
but I mean, I think that's the beauty of aging.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
my mom says in her 70s, she's like, I don't give a crap what people think.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to say, I don't care what people think, but that's
well,
not true.
and not only that, I mean, I have a whole thing about this professionally that I speak on. Of we should always care a little bit about what other people think of us, right? Because their perception of us does actually dictate our success in the world.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean we're going to change who we are completely,
Right.
but like to say I don't give a crap.
Right. Well, an
That's
example
kinda
for my
stupid.
mom is that, lots of people want to, like, hey, you guys should come down to Phoenix and stay at our place, or let's go to dinner, or, she has a group of women that they want to go to the beach for the weekend. And my mom's like, that is not my thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Before, I tried to make an excuse, but then they'd ask me 6 months later for the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to go through it all over again. Now she's just like, you know me, I don't do slumber parties, or we are going to get our own place, but we'll come down and visit, type of thing.
And
So it's getting
boundaries
comfortable with that.
boundaries
yeah.
are a huge part of
Yeah.
setting realistic expectations.
Yeah.
They go
Totally.
hand in hand. So
Absolutely.
that's a great example. What about a personal example for you that you can think of that?
Yeah,
Comes
so
to mind.
Christmas really comes up
Oh.
for me. And we'll probably talk through this, and maybe some aha moments will come in.
Okay.
So Christmas was a big deal for me.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was the whole family coming together, or, just that Hallmark Christmas idea. Maybe that was my chance to, like, really get that family moment. I don't know. But my expectations were so high. So it comes from, like, what tree we picked. One time we picked a tree, and I got it home, and I was like, no. Like, yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's
how
ridiculous.
How old were you? What
I
are
was
we talking here?
probably like 10.
Okay.
And I was like, no, this is not going to work. And my poor mother, she said, well, I'm not buying another one unless you sell this one. And I sold it to my aunt.
Stop it. Stop it.
My aunt, who had lower expectations on her Christmas tree than I did. So it started there. And then every year.
Was the tree not big enough? Was it too much space in between the
It
twigs?
might have been too much space.
I have to wonder.
It might have been too much space. Now,
Okay.
there was one year I came home from college, and my mom was like, I'm going simple. And I just think, oh my God, Mom, I get it now. That she got a tabletop tree. So she took a card table, there wasn't even a tablecloth, and put like a little tree. I said, absolutely not.
Oh, you didn't let her?
No, I was mortified when I came home. I'm like, that is not Christmas. Isn't that horrible?
So did you laugh at my tree? The one tree I had? Did you see it this year?
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, it was like a little,
So sad.
and it sat right there on the corner.
So sad. So then, the tree was a big deal. And then it was decorating the tree.
Mm.
And so the family decorate the tree.
Oh, you'd fix it, wouldn't you?
Oh no. I wish I would just fix it.
Oh,
I got upset because they
Oh.
weren't doing it
Oh,
the
way
right
you
way
needed it to
of
be
my
done.
expectations.
Right.
I mean, this is like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God, it's horrible. I feel so bad for my mom. So yeah, so that was like a huge for me. The Christmas
I
tree
get it.
and
Now, what
that
about when
was.
it came to like gifts? Are
I'm
you let down when you don't get the gift you want and you expect maybe like your significant other?
Oh
or...
yeah.
Okay, I mean that's fair. You're being honest. Yeah, I mean I know I've certainly been there, right? I mean, everyone like
Yeah.
when you look back in your 20s,
Yeah.
everyone around you's getting married.
Yeah.
Some are even having kids.
Yeah.
It's that meatball again.
I thought it was a bud cat.
Yeah.
That was Bud's in his basket.
And everyone's getting married, and so every time my birthday would roll around, I'd be
Yeah.
expecting an engagement ring.
Oh.
Because my expectation was so high,
Oh yeah.
and I just wanted to fit in with everybody else.
Oh yeah. You couldn't surprise me
No,
to save your life.
no,
I think I have a bud hair on my lip.
probably. And and then I would just get pouty because it was like pajamas or something.
Yeah.
Pajamas and some slippers. I remember I
Yeah.
got one year from my
Yeah.
first husband, and I was like, "Are you effing kidding me right now? I thought you were gonna get me an engagement ring, and you got me pajamas."
But
like,
there are,
WTF?
but there is like in that department with men, like there is like the bare minimum that you need to look like you actually made some effort.
Yeah, but bare minimum for some men is pajamas.
Well,
I mean, let's be honest.
my mom's birthday is December 30th, and my dad one year got her Christmas candles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That were on sale after.
Yeah. Or it was,
Yeah,
exactly.
So here's the thing.
Jack.
It's not always about us expecting people to be just like us. We don't want mirror images of us. But
It would sure be nice if they did exactly
What we wanted.
them to do.
and it's human nature that we use ourselves as a baseline. Because
Using ourselves
as a baseline,
like
that's what we do.
it's so weird to realize how other people do the same thing differently.
Right, exactly. And so
Yeah.
we go through life, our experiences,
Yeah.
our value systems, our traumas, and we bring them into these new
Culture,
relationships,
perceptions,
and we're
everything.
still using ourselves as the baseline, and we just expect that they will behave the way we need them to behave.
Exactly.
It's
my
just
God.
crazy.
I have another story.
Okay, go.
So when I was in my 30s, we would host a lot of events and have people over and kind of be the glue and bring. I just love that,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
But my poor husband, like I
Mm.
feel so sorry for him because I'd have this long list of things to do and these high expectations of perfection, doing all this stuff to have this fun event. And I'm like, where is he? And I go in the garage and there he was sweeping the inside of the garage. And at the time I'm like,
What are you doing?
No.
So was that
like no one is gonna see the inside of the garage,
Oh,
right?
is that what he was doing?
Well, no.
Or was he trying to escape from
He
you?
was trying to escape. Like, I see it now. Poor guy. He's just like, I gotta get away. So I'm gonna look like I'm doing something by sweeping the inside
Okay,
of
that's
the garage.
awesome.
I know. It's so sad. I've grown up.
That's good.
I know.
That's it. Because it's no fun. I will say from firsthand experience,
Yeah.
it is no fun to
Yeah.
entertain with someone who's like that.
Right.
Oh, we stopped entertaining completely in my last marriage because
Yeah.
he would get so hyped up
Yeah.
and
I know.
stressed out, and then I wouldn't go and check on the grill
Yeah.
fast enough, and then
Yeah.
it would be a fight
Oh my
because
gosh.
I didn't get to something quick
Yeah.
enough.
Do you have it on chat?
No, I don't
We
think
forgot
so.
to do
Yeah,
that.
we did.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll look
Because
after it.
I'm sure people have tons of stories.
I know. Well, if they
of-
do, I
of-
want to hear.
Of get-togethers,
Right?
where everyone's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So
So funny. So I think one of the interesting stories I think of is when I talked to my daughter Reese. She's 21. She's been working since she was 15. She has a really, and I'm bragging, she's my daughter. I don't have to brag, but I'm biased.
Yeah.
And she has a really good work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that she's always struggled with
Mm-hmm.
is this work ethic expectation management of I show up on time, I don't call in, I don't leave early, I get my shit done. Why can't other people do it?
Well, I tell you what, That is the basics, and she has the basics down,
I know it.
and she will skyrocket.
But it
in
can
whatever
be
she's doing.
exhausting
Yeah.
because she
Yeah.
has taken on
Yeah.
this energy of others not doing
Right.
what she needs them to do.
Right.
Doesn't
And
make
she's
her
not
any
managing
better.
them.
No, it doesn't
They're
make her
just-
any better.
Yeah.
It just makes her, that's just what she loves to do. She loves
Right.
to be on time. She loves
Right.
to work hard. And when they don't, and they shortcut things, and they
Yeah.
leave early, and they
Yeah.
have excuses not to show up,
Yeah.
it drives her insane.
Because she'd never think of doing that.
Right. But that's again, it goes back to our baseline. We would never think to do that.
Yeah.
We are not them.
Right.
They are not us.
Right.
We have to stop
Yeah.
infiltrating our own sets of belief and our own reactions and our own, because we're
Yeah.
not always great either.
And that's a let
We
them
do
moment.
it totally is a
Because-
let them moment.
Because you
Yes.
get sucked in
Totally.
and so irritated, and that resentment will show.
Oh,
I mean,
and it does.
When
And
that
I've
employee
allowed that
comes
to
in,
happen to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it shows all over.
Now,
your
if
face.
you're just flat out lazy and you're always coming up with a BS excuse not to show up to work,
yeah,
that's a different issue,
yes,
right?
and an issue for the manager.
Absolutely. It's not an issue for the coworker.
No,
But that's hard, right?
Oh.
When you're
irritating.
in your profession, whatever it may be,
Yeah,
and you're working your butt off and you're
Yeah.
producing, and someone equal to you or above you, even
Yeah.
worse,
yeah,
isn't meeting that same expectation,
yeah.
you
Oh,
can
yeah.
really let that get the best of you if you allow it.
And you have to try and do what you can. But if management isn't seeing that, because you don't feel seen in that situation.
No, that's exactly
When
what
they're
it
not
is.
dealing with the person that's coming in late and shortcutting, then you don't feel seen. You don't feel like you matter, and it's probably time to move on to a different.
And that's hard,
situation.
right? It's a hard
It
thing to
is.
say let them in that situation, because
It's
you
always
may
hard.
really like where you work and you love what you do,
Yeah.
but bad behavior is being rewarded.
Yeah,
That's very difficult to pull away from.
yeah.
Those are tough, really tough decisions.
Which rolls us into communicating
Yeah.
the expectations. And in this situation, you can communicate to your manager about it.
Yeah, this is
Um,
something I've seen.
Yeah, and in everything, with our spouses, with our Jack's
Mhm.
growling at people
It's the
walking by.
communication.
Yeah, it's communication.
For Jack, it's
So
communication.
if you hear the growling, that's
Yeah.
just Jack. He's protecting us.
Mhm.
But yeah, you have to communicate what your needs are very clearly,
And why?
because clear
Why
as
do
kind,
you,
says
clear
Brene
as
Brown.
kind, says Brene Brown. That's right. Why do you think that so many people simply don't communicate clearly? They just don't communicate at all. What do you think is behind that?
Well, it's hard to. You have to have self-worth to be able to do that. There's fear of rejection in what your needs are, which then decreases your self-worth. We're people pleasers, so we just think of everyone else and their needs. There's some of us that aren't even thinking, I need this right now.
Right.
They're just thinking.
Right. Sometimes it's not even top of mind. You're right.
It's
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
top of
Yeah.
mind.
It's not until after the fact that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that would have been really nice. Thanks for thinking of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't even know to communicate it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
really getting in tune with what do I need right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great
Another
question.
one is from me, it's being conflict adverse.
People hate conflict.
I don't want conflict. I've had relationships where I have steered away because I know that if I say something about what I need, it will turn into an argument. And so
Yeah.
then I learned just to not say anything.
Yeah.
And then just to become resentful when they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so it was
Definitely.
this awful hamster wheel that I couldn't jump off of
Yeah.
because I didn't want to take the risk of saying the things I needed. And that's not a safe space to be in, though.
No, it's not. And that takes some exercise to really get that down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
to
because
get
it can feel
comfortable
really
with it.
gross, like cringy.
It does.
Like, I need from you.
Totally.
It feels weird, but
Totally.
when you get the hang of it, it actually is freeing.
Yeah. And people are kind of like, great.
Yeah, thank you for
Tell
telling me.
Tell me what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the bedroom,
Yeah.
like, tell me what you need.
Right.
Right?
But
We
people don't want
expect-
to do that.
We
People
wanna
don't want to do that. It's so weird. It's
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't want to say. And so when you can finally find a person where you can actually have that conversation, that's rare and amazing.
perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? There's people who have been married
Oh,
20, 30 years.
it doesn't
who
matter if you're
cannot talk about their own sex life.
yeah.
They can't talk about what they need. And they've spent half their life together.
I had a friend, I was like in my early 30s, and we'd work out together every morning. And so we got really close. We talk about what's going on or whatever. And there was something really bothering her about her husband. And I'm like, well, have you talked to him? What did he say? And she's like, I haven't. And I go, how long has it been? And she's like, it's been like 2 weeks. And for me, I'm on the polar opposite. And there's definitely a medium.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to not bring something up. that I'm
Yes,
feeling.
you are very outright forthcoming
Yeah.
in what you need, but you've probably had to practice that over the years.
I think that that's kind of a result
Okay.
of like having to stick up for myself and things like that. So I think that there's again there's a happy medium there.
Did you get her to finally say something to him or no?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of people to come to the dark side. I have friends that, and I just reconnected with one of them. We worked together in like our early 20s.
That's awesome.
And she came to work for me, and she come to work, and what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, And I knew it was something between her and her husband, and I keep digging because I've got to fix this, right?
Right,
Which is
because
the
we're
whole-
fixers.
We're fixers,
And that's what we do.
and
That's right.
then she'd finally talk about it
Mm-hmm.
and get it out. And then he'd come to work, or we'd see him later on, and he'd be like, I don't know what you're doing to get her to talk, but I really appreciate
Oh no, are you serious? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of
Yeah.
refreshing when somebody finally tells you what they need.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's do some action,
I love action.
right? Action items for listeners. Not
Yes.
only do we want to hear stories that other people have around managing expectations or failure to do so or success in, catch yourself expecting yourself from someone else this week.
Okay,
That's like
say
a
that
call,
again.
a call to action. In your interactions with people this
Okay.
week, catch yourself expecting you to show up in somebody else. So expect.
Okay, give me an example of that.
Okay,
one. I'm
like
dyslexic. That's like back ass.
oh
words
yeah,
for
it would
me.
be really confusing.
Yeah. So give me an example.
K is in cat. So when you expect something from someone this week, pause and say, I want them to do something. Is it what I would do? And why do I want that?
Thank you for the example.
Is it what I would, well, it's kind of weird the way that I worded it. Is it what I would do? Is it me that I'm asking for? Am I asking to look in the mirror? Because I have a mirror. I can just go look at it and talk to myself.
Yeah.
Or am I asking that person to genuinely show up as him or herself?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I've got the mirror. I can talk to myself all day. I live by myself.
So let's
I can show up.
let's give some small examples of what that might be. Like,
If you texted somebody and they didn't text you right back, let's just say, and it was an important question, or you deemed it to be important,
oh my gosh, and I text
Okay.
so quick to people,
and then
and
they don't
I-
respond right
and I'm like,
away,
why
and you're
do
like,
I-
what the heck?
or why do I feel like I need to respond?
Or I
to
have
text
her
right
on
now?
the map. She's at home. Why is she not getting back to me?
Oh, do you look at my map?
I'm just saying, I have you on the map, and when you don't respond,
I
but
forget
those
about
kinds
the
of
map.
things, we do that. We
Yeah.
do those things of why
Yeah.
are they not texting me back? Like I
Right.
literally they just texted me, and now
Right.
they're not texting me back. What are they
Right.
mad?
Oh yeah.
Did I just piss them off by
Or-
that question?
Or your adult children, or your children,
Yes.
who are on their phone 24/7, and you text, and
That's a great one. Like I know you're on your phone.
crickets.
Yeah, I know you're on your
Frickin'
phone.
crickets.
Yes.
That's a great emoji, by the way.
The crickets, yes.
Great emoji.
The other one that I would challenge people to this week is to shift judgment to curiosity. I have to practice this all the time. I'm very quick to judge when I need to just take a step back and say, but why? Why are they acting that way? Why did they just say that?
I should have done
Rather
that
than
with
getting
the-
annoyed,
Yeah,
like I do,
yeah,
and being very quick,
yeah.
I need to just say why. What got them there?
Mhm.
Let me understand more about that. And that may be me asking them a question, or that may be someone who I don't even know and me just saying, yeah, I wonder what led up to that.
Totally. I used to do that with my kids all the time. You know, they come home from grade school and they'd be like, so and so is so mean and blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and I go, what's going on in their life? Do you
Mhm.
know anything that's going on?
See,
in
we
their
do a
life?
great job teaching our kids that, but then we don't
I
always
know.
practice it.
I know. I did really
It's
good.
such a great example because
I
I
know.
used to do that too.
In fact, my kids get annoyed at me still to this day. My adult children, they'll be like, "Mom, we don't want to hear it. We just want to vent."
Right. Right.
But yeah, getting curious, because I could have gotten more curious with the Norwegian Cruise Line customer service agent this morning. She was talking quiet and really fast, and she was curt.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
And
Kurt is a tough one, right?
I just
She could have been the nicest lady ever, but she was Kurt, so damn her.
right.
Yes.
Oh,
Her mom may be dying.
exactly, exactly.
Right? You don't know what's happening.
I'm really good with road rage with people that are on the road
Yeah, I
going
just
crazy.
I just let it go.
That one I
That
can let
doesn't
go.
bother me
I
at all.
say their grandma,
Right,
they're on
me
the way to
too,
the
me
hospital.
too,
their
me too,
grandma's-
always.
We have no idea what's
Always,
going
yep.
on. But it is funny because there's certain situations where you're like, damn you.
I know.
Don't
It's
you
hard.
think about treating me this way?
It's hard not to sometimes.
Yeah.
So catch yourself expecting from others what you would do, and then shift from judgment to curiosity. And then I challenge us all, we're pretty good at this, to have one really honest conversation. Maybe one you've been putting off for a while.
Without alcohol.
Thank you for saying that. That is tough for a lot of people. It was for me for many years, if
Yeah.
not my entire marriage.
Yeah.
Whenever I had to have that honest conversation and
Mhm.
really like set a boundary or an expectation,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, better go grab a drink for him and me, loosen them up so we don't get into an argument.
God, walking on eggshells.
Yeah, so it was a codependency that I had with not only alcohol, but with alcohol and controlling his emotions. It's a whole thing that we do, and we don't even realize we're doing it.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. So have one honest conversation without alcohol.
Something small.
Yeah, it can be something really small.
Maybe it's
Yep.
about the laundry.
Yep.
Maybe it's about the schedule for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's about the time that you need to take for yourself
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday morning.
Yeah, we went to a luncheon yesterday, and our speaker, Hannah Austin, if you've ever seen her, we hope to have her as a
She's
guest on our show. She's amazing, wonderful woman.
Yeah.
And
Smart as a
she
whip.
was talking about this expectation management of how this lady that she works with was so exhausted by having to make dinner for everybody in the family every single night of the week.
Yeah.
And so she helped her reframe these expectations and got the 9 and 10-year-old to actually help make the list for Instacart. They spent the extra $5 to get the delivery. And then the kids actually stepped in to not only create the meals, which was funny at first, but then to help make the meals. And it took a ton of stuff off her plate just because she had one conversation, set one boundary, and lowered the expectation for herself,
Right.
and then didn't get so frustrated with them when they didn't come through for her in helping out voluntarily.
And you want to put this stuff in place before you're so done. Like when I say I'm done, like watch out.
Because there's very rarely turning back.
Yeah,
at that
because
point.
I am taking time for myself. It might be a night, it might be a weekend. I am not available to you emotionally or physically. I've got nothing left.
Yeah, because when you go and you get yourself, let's say you love to take a bath.
I do love my baths.
And you want to bring a book in and you just want to have quiet time. without saying anything, you just expect everyone to leave you alone because they know that you're going to go take a bath.
Yes.
But without clearly communicating that,
Yeah.
you get bombarded with questions, and people are, hey, mom, and then your phone goes off, and you're like, wow, people can't even respect a half hour of my freaking time, really? But it's because you didn't set the clear expectations up front of
So-
nobody's allowed to bother me.
Yeah, so maybe that's the conversation
Yeah,
of something that you need.
yes. Honest conversation, something
Honest,
you need
yeah.
that you haven't outrightly asked for or expressed to someone.
Or because maybe you have a story in your head of what that reaction's going to be.
Yep.
And sometimes we're surprised.
And to my experience, if you can't have that conversation, or there is a pattern of getting a negative response every single time, you're probably not in a safe space emotionally.
Yeah.
And that may be
You know,
a trigger for you to just evaluate where you are.
Yeah. You might need a BF.
And that's our therapist, BF.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to lead us into next week's or 2 weeks from now, our next episode? Because we're at time.
Oh my gosh.
I
What is
know.
our next
Our
episode?
next episode is to get her.
Oh, to get her to play. Is it really our
Yeah.
next rediscovering the power of fun?
Yeah.
I was in a virtual meeting today with the Dames networking group out of Denver, and they talked just about this, about what in your childhood do you wish you could bring back into your current life.
Love
And
that.
it's the fun.
Love that.
What, did you love horses back then? Did you love the outdoors? Did you love naps? Maybe you didn't, but let's bring those back. And making sure that what you loved then, you bring into your
Yes,
life now.
especially today when we're like surrounded by negativity and
Yeah.
crap. We have to play more.
Yeah.
And we're really good at playing. I love that
Really
about
good.
us. And that's part of
Really
why
good.
we love doing what we do, because
Right.
we always make time for play. But I know a
Yeah.
lot of other people don't know how to do that or haven't quite figured out that equation.
Yeah,
So we'll
for
help.
sure.
We'll help.
So, and we should show the stickers.
Oh, yeah.
So hot off the press, we just got our stickers delivered today.
Number one.
So this is, you're my soulmate when you're on meds.
When you're on meds. And then this is my favorite. Someone told me this
Yes.
years ago, and it stuck with me when I was having a really bad go about. And it's chin up or the crown slips. That's that
There's
one.
your click.
And then
Herstory wasn't made by playing it safe.
that's right.
Yeah.
Got to take a couple
Yeah.
risks.
So
Gotta
these fun
push.
stickers will be eventually on our website
Mhm.
under merch. They are also going to be at our event on May 15th at Kiggins Theater in Vancouver.
If you haven't gotten your tickets, go on Kiggins.
Yes, we have a goal to get 300 amazing women there. We're actually going to do like a little networking icebreaker thing. I haven't talked to you about it yet, but we're going to do that in the beginning because everyone needs to meet another amazing
Yes.
woman in the community.
Yes.
But these will be in the swag bags. One of these great ones will be in the VIP swag bags if you get a VIP ticket. And if not, they are going to be for sale, and all the proceeds will go to the Alzheimer's Association.
Yes.
So we can't wait for that. So
Okay,
help
well, we're
us.
at time.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, we'd love to hear from you, and thanks for joining.
All right. Have a good one.
There it is. That's it.
Did we have no one?
Oh, we didn't really